Hey, big guy, how you doing today? Mental health is probably the biggest crisis the human race is facing right now. And I just wanted to share some tips that I've learned in my own life to help you out. Equal or greater than dealing with depression is exercise, actually. And what I've learned about exercise, almost specifically in dealing with just depression alone, is aerobic exercises actually. Although weightlifting, calisthenics, and CrossFit will help, for some reason, when your cardiovascular health is optimized or better, or I don't know all the sciencey stuff that goes with it, but basically cardio equals happy, I guess. You can say it like that. I'm not going to go on a whole spiel about mental health in connection with exercise because so many YouTubers talk about that. There's so much information about that already. You don't really need me to, I guess, how do you say this? You don't really need me to repeat the same echo chamber you've probably heard a lot already. Mindfulness during exercise, which is my first tip, is actually really helpful for you while you're exercising. So, for example, right now, if you're giving me your full attention and not scrolling down to the comments, looking elsewhere, but actually paying full attention and looking at me, that is called mindfulness. A way to really grow mindfulness in your life is through meditation itself. And so when you're mentally present in exercise, it gets you in the zone. You're just focused on what you're doing. You forget about the rest of your life. You forget about the rest of the world, and you just actually get to give yourself a mental break for a minute. You could be asking, because I was talking earlier about aerobic exercises. I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy named Andrew Huberman, but he has a podcast called Huberman Lab. And what I've learned from the guy is about 150 to 200 minutes of like light cardio or zone two cardio, I guess, is enough for every week. One way you could do that, I guess, is just like go for a 15-minute jog every morning and every night. That's how I tackle it, anyways. Tip number two is having a growth mindset and or like bringing positivity into your life about the progress that you are making. In my own experience in dealing with depression and growing from it and overcoming it, I've actually found a lot of benefit from celebrating the small wins, things like making your bed or keeping the house clean, stuff like that is not only worth celebrating, but the feeling of progress actually helps you. Appreciating the small things in life is definitely a worthy endeavor. We need to talk about social media usage. Although comparison is absolutely normal and natural for a human being to do, it is the thief of all joy, and we're just not in like the hunter-gatherer stage of humanity anymore. Rejection from the tribe, so to say, or not being someone who seems to fit in, doesn't mean death anymore. It means being lonely, but a lot of people are lonely today. So just keep that in mind. You got to also keep in mind that comparison is the thief of all joy. And what people are posting on social media isn't normal. That's the highlights of their life. They still go through bouts, they still have struggles and problems to solve. It seems as though everyone these days is putting on a mask or pretending to be more valuable than they actually are. From what I can tell, it seems like a deep subconscious cry for help because we all crave human intimacy. Human connection and social connections really are the fruit of life, and they will definitely help you with your mental health. Look, bro, When you really start to take care of yourself and make genuine progress, then you could probably start competing with more and more people. But for now, you're watching stuff like this because you're really struggling, and maybe you haven't even gotten started. There is not a reason, unless you have peers in the same boat, to be comparing yourself to big media influencers. Like, some of those like red pill alpha male guys who have got like four curls in their arms and they've got loads of money and like 10K a month, or I don't know what the red pillars talk about these days. If you use comparison to people that are steps ahead of you in life and probably faking it on the internet too, you're just going to destroy yourself, and that's not going to get you anywhere. Just start with your small wins and work from there. We need to talk about your diet. I'm not going to tell you what to eat, what the best diet is, or fill your mind full of information about nutrition, because there's already more than enough of that on the internet already. You don't need to hear more of that. Again, it's a lot of this is just an echo chamber where everyone's arguing about the research that they've learned. As for me, I've found that eating processed crap makes me really sad and quite depressed. I get brain fog, I can get a bit moody, I get pretty bad acne from it. So I've just concluded in my life that I like to eat clean. I used to eat McDonald's a lot. My regular order used to be two double cheeseburgers, a large fry, and like 10 nuggets. I don't know why I bought that stuff, man. And as a bit of a testimonial, ever since I stopped eating processed garbage, but do nothing except homemade cooking, I've found that I have a lot less brain fog. My brain works better. I have more of a working memory. And on top of that, when you put intermittent fasting on that, bro, like the brain fog is just gone. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but a lot of people seem to experience this like haze where they get lost in their mind or they get lots of mind wandering. I don't get much of either of that anymore. An important thing to remember, big guy, when it comes to life, you're already all in. Within the next 100 years, the last day of your life is going to come up. You're not going to live forever. So the longer you keep putting stuff like this off, the shorter time you have to celebrate being alive and enjoying it.